Now, I kind of want to change things up in this video because I really wanted to go into what's more important than coaching, winning, in general, and all these moves that we made. What's the number one thing that we need to really have back with the personnel of this roster? And the Eagles are finally going to have their swagger back in a lot of ways. And I want to talk about specific players that are going to make a huge difference going forward and how it's going to affect this team. I want to talk about Vic Fangio and how much he has on his hands this year and what he's going to have to deal with. And I want to talk about Jaylen Carter from not really taking a moment of free time this offseason, been working his tail off, and this is going to be his moment this year, and I'm excited for it, so let's get into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. I hope everyone's enjoying. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed their Memorial Day weekend, and obviously giving thanks to all the military service and all that great stuff. People have, died for this country, and people that have obviously have military men, women, and their families. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I definitely did. Now I want to go over what's more important than winning? What's more important than all the moves we made this past offseason? What's just more important in general? Okay, because we talk about the moves, we talk about who needs to win competitions at camp. We're talking about so many different things, but the one thing that we kind of leave out all the time is that this year the Eagles are finally getting their swagger back. Because after, yes, I talk about last year, because after what I saw last year where coaching was so bad, and yes, I know that players can only take you so far when it comes to staying focused, because you have to make plays. The team has to play well under these coordinators, under these coaches. I felt like we lost a little bit of pushback last year. And to be honest with you, we don't talk about it much because it happened a while ago, but obviously Chauncey Gardner-Johnson has been that big, just the aura of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, just when he talks and how he carries himself, and it makes you want to follow him in a lot of ways. And when it comes to this team and the big mistake of him not signing with the Eagles last free agency, which I don't know what happened between Howie Roseman and trying to get him back, and apparently he was trying to get back, and I don't know what happened. A bunch of, his agent and whatever the confusion was, I don't know. So I felt like not only did you miss a fantastic player last year, but you missed a guy that was a big, a focal point of direction of, just keeping the org together with this team. And obviously when things happen on the field, Chauncey's not going to back down. Okay. He's the type of player that's just never going to do that. He's going to get in your face. He's going to cause some stuff, and he's going to keep everybody focused. And I think that was well missed last year, 100%. I know a lot of people are going to say this really isn't important, but to me it is, because you can have good individuals on the team. You can have the best player on your team, but could be a total selfish nothing, doesn't help the team mentally, does nothing. And there's nothing wrong with players that aren't big rah-rah type guys, but you do need leadership this way. And I think Chauncey not only get that ball hawk capability, but you're going to get a guy that's gonna keep everybody above water. And that's the one thing. I think about the 49ers game last year where Bradbury got pretty much, the 49ers walked into pre-practice before the game, and no one did anything. No one shoved anybody. They just let the 49ers walk through our pregame, and it just showed like there is just no heart at all. And I understand like the coaching aspect and things weren't going well. And that was like the first game of our downfall really last year. Okay. And still, like, there was just no momentum. There was no pushback. There was no sense of urgency to, be there for your teammates. It took Big Dom to get kicked off the field to at least have a little bit of momentum to wake up the Philadelphia Eagles and say, holy shit, we're in a dogfight right now. We should be fighting back. And unfortunately, it was too late. So to get Chauncey back this year, I think is one of the biggest strengths. And you have him long term, which is fantastic. So I'm excited for him, and I've always have been. Devin White's another one, newly to the Philadelphia Eagles. Everyone's saying he's washed. He's not going to do anything. I think Devin White is going to, and Devin White is already showing at camp already, even OTAs. I mean, they have him as a starter right now. He will lead your defense. He will call the plays for your defense. Devin White's been the leader. He's done it with Tampa Bay. I mean, he's won out of Tampa Bay the last couple years, and he's 26. He's in his prime, and this is a big re-sign candidate for the Philadelphia Eagles after this year. And I think athletically, he's the best linebacker we have, and I think as a linebacker, period, he's the best one we have. We've made too many mistakes at this position, and finally, not only you get a guy that's good, but I think you have a guy that's not only is will probably drop back a little bit in coverage, but a guy that's going to go after the quarterback, and a guy that's really good on run support, and doing this thing. And I think him reviving himself as a player, and you got to see clips of him in Tampa Bay. I mean, he's got a big voice. You may not think so, but he does. Him and Levante David were leading that defense a lot, and unfortunately, he got hurt week 2 against the Eagles last year, and then and then he was hurt for a while, then was just benched the rest of the year. And I guess maybe there was an attitude change, or he just wasn't feeling. I guess he's just wanted out, really. I don't know what the main problem was last year, but I think people are not appreciative of Devin White being here. And yes, he has to earn his keep, and yes, he has to play well, and he has to make the team, which he will. But I think this is definitely an underrated sign that the Eagles have that is going to mold this team, and hopefully for the future too. If they do re-sign do a re-sign for his contract and extend him, I think this is going to be a good move for the Eagles, not just for now, but for the future. I don't think Devin White should be slept on at all, because, like I said, and him and Nakobe Dean are pretty good friends, and try to recruit each other. So that's another player that he could pull up, and motivate a little bit more, and that's a fantastic thing. So I think the Devin White aspect of things is great. And we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, this is Vic Fangio's defense. He's the one that's going to put these players in the right position to win football games. And I'm sorry, guys, but I don't want to hit the reset button after this year. I really don't. I think you have a hard-nosed coach. I think everybody is really starting to like him. From what I'm hearing, the Eagles players, they really like him. But I think at the end of the day, this is a change. This is a change for maybe more hard practices, more demanding practices to, a guy that's not going to let you off easy. How many times the Eagles missed tackles last year, no defensive coordinator would have put up with that. And that's unfortunate that we had to change defensive coordinators within the year. And the only time during that 7-game stretch on our downfall when, they actually felt good about themselves was when they practiced. And as soon as they got to a game and they faced adversity, whether the offense scored on the defense or they just missed a couple tackles for a big third down, a crucial third down or something like that, I just felt like we just got the wind knocked out of us so easily. And like I said, no sense of urgency, stand around, going through the motions. And I'm hoping that Fangio has a lot of change here, and I hope that he puts this defense in a good position to win us a championship, because, I mean, with this scheme that he has and running this scheme we've been running the past few years, I'm only giving this like this year. If this fails this year with this defense and Fangio is just not up to par and he doesn't make the adjustments and he doesn't do the things that he really needs to do by a game-to-game type basis, then, at this point, you have to go to a more aggressive style defense. I'm sorry. I've never liked this scheme. We just have to deal with it how we deal with it. And, like I said, Vic Fangio is a well-respected coach. I like him a lot. But, for the players to succeed, he is the biggest piece. The coaching is the biggest piece. It's the final piece to our season, because the talent is there. Can the Eagles get the talent out of these players and rotate the right guys and sub in the right guys at certain moments? And you know what I mean? So with what Miami did last year in some of, what Todd was he 15 pass, what ranked 15, 16 pass defense, third in pressures, top 5 in quarterback hits. I mean, defensive line hits home, linebackers play downhill at times, but need guys in coverage. You know what I mean? They like disguising the defense with some of their safeties and some of their other guys. So, I mean, there's a whole lot in multiple scheme fronts and, you know, what he could do. And I don't think it's really a big task for him because he's been around this team. He's comfortable around the players. A lot of players, he was here as a consultant, you know, didn't necessarily help the defense too much in 22. He more helped the offense in 22, as he said in his press conference, to give, you know, the offense another pair of eyes of what defenses and what these defenses are going to do towards Jalen Hurts in that offense. So I feel like Fangio's on the right path. I just need to see what camp's going to bring us and what he can really take out of all these guys. The more he puts them, you don't set these guys up to fail. Don't put them in a situation where you know they're not going to do well. Because I don't know. I didn't see Sean Desai making too many changes, and then Matt Patricia comes in, changes the defense, does different things, and totally gave up, you know, 28 plus points a game. With Desai's, at least Desai wasn't a great coach, but we were only giving up 22 a game. You know what I mean? So played better with you know, played better with him, but Matt Patricia, you know, ultimately failed. And then once he failed, the rest of the team failed. And it just, the poison, the cancer grew within the whole entire team, from the defense to the offense to everything. So, you know, I think Fangio's exciting, and I'm excited to see, you know, with certain talents that he's had really a lot of control over getting, from free agency to the draft, with Jalix Hunt and, you know, some of these hand-picked guys that he really likes, to see how they really use some of them. So I'm pretty excited for him. And, you know, Jaylen Carter, you know, we don't talk about him enough. I mean, even having his little, you know, press conference after, I think, the second day of minicamp, and talked about, you know, not really, you know, liking Vic Fangio, and he's a hard-nosed coach that he's really liked, and he hasn't taken a moment of free time off this offseason. Jaylen Carter's been working his tail off. We know what Jaylen Carter could do. We know what he could be. We know this. It's unfortunate that a whole year was wasted. You know, when you have bad coaching, it sucks, because when you have talent and then you have bad coaching on top of it, it's horrible. I mean, look at our offense. I mean, we're literally just getting lucky throughout games, you know, and Hurts is putting the team on his back. We're just doing just enough to win football games with all this talent, with new coordinators, you know, and now again another year, new coordinators, and I can't wait to see what Jaylen Carter's going to do this year. I mean, seriously. I mean, I thought he would have been like rookie of the year last year. No joke. But this year should be a big season. We know how physical he is. We know how disruptive he is, as well as the rest of the defensive line. With Jordan Davis needs a big year, and some of these other guys, to see what they could do. You know, Jaylen Carter, I think is going to, this is the year he's going to go upwards. And I think, you know, even Jordan Davis, I think this is the year he is going to go upwards. You know, it's the ceiling's not the limit here. They can go way further than that. And Jaylen Carter has showed, you know, that he's respectful, and he, you know, the guy could play football, and we all know this. You know, Jaylen Carter is one of those guys that got a lot of shit before the draft, and I was one of the big defenders of him, and why, you know, people just make stupid decisions. People are, you know, we just make dumb decisions in our lives. And I think he's really grown this past year. And obviously with the support system from some of the Georgia guys like Jordan Davis, and obviously Nakobe Dean being here. So, you know, Nolan Smith. So, you know, there's a lot of familiarity with him and the support system he'll have. And I feel really good about it, you know, going forward. But that's all I got to say about that. So theoretically, guys, it's, you know, when I talk about, we talk about winning, we talk about camp, we talk about competition, we talk about all this stuff that's going on regardless. But I think the number one thing that we're going to get back this year is that attitude, that swagger, that aura that we should, you know, gathering around other players. And I think that's really important, you know, going forward. So I just kind of want to talk on that, because I really haven't really talked about that and how much of a difference it's actually going to make. So as long as you have players, you're bringing in players that have the right mindset, and then bringing in guys like Chauncey and Devin White, and guys that really have big voices, and they just fire up and they give the defense juice, especially Chauncey, just giving the defense a lot of juice. It's a huge difference. It's night and day. One guy can make a difference for your defense just by a guy talking, reacting, just how a player carries himself towards his teammates. It's a huge difference beyond. So I thought that was really important. But hope everyone enjoyed their Memorial Day weekend. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it so much. If you guys haven't liked the video, definitely like the video. This helped the channel tremendously. If you guys have not checked out the Philly Shakedown podcast merch, link is in the description. We just got in youth shirts, and ladies t-shirts are now in. We're going to have some sleeveless shirts in very soon going forward, and we got some big drops coming merch-wise in the near future, so appreciate everybody that's been purchasing and appreciate everybody that has been supporting. So thank you so much. Link in the description for all that stuff. Now, you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys on the next one. Shakes what up, follow, slide. Peace out, guys. Bye.